attacked on Israeli hostage event has been charged with a hate crime. Tyrone Bowman live. Let's get right down to the heart of this story as reported and written in the Washington Post. The man accused of using a flamethrower to attack an event organized by a pro Israel group told investigators he planned to the assault for a year and wanted to, quote, kill all Zionist people and wish they were all dead, end quote, according to court documents released Monday. 12 people were injured in Sunday's attack, which sent another ripple of unease through the American Jewish community. Mohammed Sabri Solomon, who is 45, has been charged with a federal hate crime and state charges of attempted murder, appeared in court on Monday afternoon in an orange jumpsuit and with a bandage around his head. Authorities said Solomon had more than a dozen unused Molotov cocktails and are investigating the incident as an act of terrorism. The horror of the attack, many of the victims, including a Holocaust survivor, were senior citizens, was magnified by repeated violent incidents targeting American Jews since 2023, when Hamas invaded Israel, setting off Israel's current war in Gaza. A young couple was gunned down last month as they exited a Jewish museum in D.C. And the residence of Pennsylvania Governor John Shapiro, who is Jewish, was set on fire in April by a man blaming him for Middle East violence against Palestinians. While incidents of anti Semitism have been rising in the United States since 2016, groups that monitor hate crimes say the numbers have exploded since October 7, 2023. The high profile nature of attacks over the past few weeks and the intense political debate about the causes of the war in Gaza have left some U.S. Jews feeling more vulnerable. Quote, it's definitely not the same. Every Jew in America is feeling this and thinking about it differently. Many of us lived open, engaged, active Jewish lives and never felt anti Semitism as a threat in any meaningful way, and I don't know how anyone who thinks that now, said Hadar Suskin, president of the progressive advocacy group New Jewish Narrative. Solomon yelled, quote, free Palestine, end quote, as he used a flamethrower and tossed an incendiary device into the crowd at a Colorado pedestrian mall, where the local chapter of a pro-Israeli group, Run for Their Lives, was hosting an event calling for the release of Israeli hostages in Gaza. Law enforcement officials have said Solomon learned about the group from an online search and specifically targeted them, according to court documents. No one should ever be subjected to violence of any kind, but our laws recognize that such violence is particularly pernicious when someone is targeted because of their race, religion, or national origin. J. Bishop Grewell, acting U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia, said at a news conference Monday the maximum sentence for the federal hate crime is life in prison, he said. In addition, Solomon is facing 42 felonies, including 16 counts of attempted murder in the first degree, according to Boulder District's attorney. Solomon is being held on a $10 million bond. He is represented by a public defender. Oh, he's going to prison, definitely. Listen, they might as well not even have a trial. This is done, finished, and over with. The Colorado State Public Defender's Office declined to comment on or name Solomon's attorney. Solomon, who is Egyptian, entered the U.S. on a B-2 tourist visa in August 2022, according to the Department of Homeland Security. He applied for asylum in September 2022, and his visa expired in February 2023. DHS Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin said DHS did not respond to further questions about the status of his asylum case. See, this incident right here further will bolster the the deportation of immigrants who have committed violent crimes, who are suspected of committing violent crimes, or who are of a violent nature. See, I haven't even read the rest of the story. Now listen to what President Trump said on his Truth Social post. President Donald Trump said that the attack was, quote, yet another example of why we must keep our borders secure in capital letters, and called for the suspect's deportation. Based on DHS's information, Solomon didn't have legal status, but was also lawfully present in the U.S., said Matsafar Christie, a senior fellow at the Immigration Policy Institute. This is a semantics issue at some level, Christie said. He didn't have legal status, but he was not removable because he was an asylum applicant. The Boulder attack took place on the eve of Shavuot, a 2-day holiday that celebrates God giving the Torah to the Jewish people at Mount Sinai. It was aimed against peaceful people who wished to express their solidarity with the hostages held by Hamas. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said in a statement calling the incident a vicious terror attack. Authorities initially said there were 8 victims, 4 men and 4 women, ranging from ages 52 to 88 years old. 2 were still hospitalized, Monday, authorities said. 4 more victims with minor injuries were confirmed Monday afternoon, bringing the total to 12. Their identities and details about the conditions have not been released. Authorities detained Solomon near a black plastic container filled with more than a dozen unlit Molotov cocktails, glass wine craft bottles, and jars holding 87-octane gasoline with red rags hanging out of the bottles. Grewell, the U.S. attorney, said that when interviewed by law enforcement, Solomon said he tried to purchase a firearm but resorted to the Molotov cocktails when he could not purchase them because he was not a legal citizen. Quote, close quote. Solomon lives in Colorado Springs with his wife and 5 children. According to the complaint, his home sits on a quiet street on the east end of the city in a 4-unit Stutco apartment complex, and you can believe all of them are going to pay the price for his reckless anti-Semitism and for his reckless disregard for human lives. On Monday morning, neighbors closed their shades as television media vehicles parked outside. Jimmy Pretwitt, 46, lives in the neighborhood and said she knew Solomon to be a quiet family man. My family and their kids played together, he said. We spoke like regular neighbors, quote, close quote. David Costello practices Messianic Judaism and along with his family moved from Illinois to Colorado Springs last month. They settled across the street from Solomon. He said Solomon's wife brought cupcakes to welcome them to the neighborhood. His kids said hello to Solomon's kids. My personal opinion is not to be intimidated by bullies. If there is someone here that is dangerous to me, the worst thing I can do is give in, Costello said. Solomon worked as an independent contractor for Uber, driving passengers for the last 9 months, an Uber spokesperson said in a statement Monday. Solomon started with the company in spring of 2023 as a food delivery driver. The spokeswoman said that Solomon met all the requirements in accordance with Colorado state law and that he had no concerning feedback while driving on the Uber platform. His driver's account has been banned, the statement said. Lisa Efres, a documentary filmmaker in Boulder, said she was eating lunch Sunday with her teenage daughter, a block away from the Run for Their Lives event, and planned to join the group at the end of its weekly walk. Every Sunday, Jeffries said the walkers start on the east side of town and they start on the west side of town and walk east carrying a banner that says, "Bring them home now," quote, close quote. They carry posters or printouts with the faces of Israeli hostages being held in Gaza and end their walk in front of the historic Boulder courthouse with a reading of the names of the hostages and a singing of Hatava, the Israeli national anthem, which translates to the hope. A little after 1:30 p.m. on Sunday, she saw first responders racing down Pearl Street. Her gut told her it involved the march. She told her teenage daughter to stay in the car and ran to the scene. I saw there were a lot of people that were partially clothed and found out minutes later that people had taken their clothes off to try and put the fire out on the building victims, Efris said. Tyrone Bowman, never surrender, never quit.